Hi guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. When I tell you, I have been putting off filming this video since I started this channel. I don't know when that was actually, God. Like April time. For a few months I've been putting off filming this video. I don't feel like this is a long awaited video, but I feel like it's a video that I sort of had to do. I've never really done like a get to know me chatty Q&A by myself. I don't know how long I'm going to be sat here chatting for. I've actually got spare batteries at the ready because the amount of times I'm probably going to fumble on my words is a joke. I've got a coffee here, keep me nice and awake, nice and alert. I put a question box on my Instagram story for loads of you to ask me questions, and I kid you not, 50% of the questions were about one thing and the other 50% were about another thing, and there was like the occasional other question dotted around. Obviously 50% of them were related to Molly. The other 50% were actually about camping, which I was pleasantly surprised to see. But I'm not going to touch on camping on this video because I feel like it's a whole nother topic, and loads of you wanted like an actual Q&A video about camping. So I will probably do like a fitnessy camping style video another time. But this is going to be like a more get to know me, spilling the tea, and yeah, just things that you might not know about me that you'd like to know. I'm just going to go straight into it. I wrote some questions down on my phone. Got a little list here. About 10 questions. I'm going to touch on the army first. I feel like I'm sort of over keeping quiet about it. It's a massive part of my life. It's literally my job. It's been my job for the past 5 years now. So the process of joining the army, I joined the army it was 2017, so I was 21, 22 I think. I think I was 22. Was I 21? I can't remember. I was 21 or 22. A lot of people when you join, you sort of join between the ages of, I'd say, like 17 and 20, so a lot of people were younger than me. I was one of the oldest in my section. Oh, it sounds so weird talking about it. I was one of the oldest at the time, and I would go as far as saying it was like the best 14 weeks of my life. The process of getting to basic training, that's like the 14 weeks. The process of getting to basic training is fine. You go through medicals, you have interviews, you do like a little selection process. That was good fun. The 14 weeks basic training is where you learn to become a soldier basically. It's not meant to be fun, it's meant to teach you a lot, and it's meant to be like a bit grueling at times, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed like the fitnessy aspect of it, learning about the weapons. But yeah, so that first 14 weeks, that's called your phase 1. Everyone has to go through that regardless of what trade you're going to go into. So then you pick a trade, so mine was being a medic. You pick a trade and then you go into phase 2, which for us was, oh God, I want to say like maybe 6 months. I could be wrong actually. We were there for about a year anyway because there was a backlog of people, so we just sort of had to wait around for our course to be open. That's where for me, obviously, I learnt to become a medic. Once you finish that, so you've done your phase 1, your phase 2, that's when you then get posted to a unit. I got posted to Catterick. I didn't choose Catterick. I think Catterick was like my third choice. But I originally chose Colchester because it was nearer to home. And then I think another posting was like Germany or something. But yeah, I got sent to Catterick, which there's pros and cons about. At the time, I wasn't overly fussed. And obviously, I'm extremely grateful that I've got posted there now because I met Danny and I've met the friends that I've met. And the regiment that I got posted to was called 5 Medical Regiment. When I joined the army, I actually wanted to be a personal trainer in the army. You can't actually join up to do that role. You have to pick a trade. And then you can, once you're in that trade and once you're in that job, you can then join to become a personal trainer. That's sort of what I did, so I sort of transitioned. I wanted to then join the personal training corps, which is like a course. You've got like the med corps, and then there's a personal training corps, but you have to be in the army to already join that. That was my goal. Now, in order to do that, I had to promote. This is where things get a little bit funky. I have been in the army for 5 years now, and I'm not promoted. I'm not promoted, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not a bad soldier. Don't sit there and think, oh, it's because she's shit and she can't do her job. I'm not. It's just the way things work sometimes in the army. You get reports written on you every year, and for one reason or another, it's just not been my luck. The route that ideally I'd have liked to have gone down, I've not been able to go down, which has led to me just getting frustrated and feeling like I'm stuck in a role that I don't want to be in. It's ultimately led to me signing off. Everyone that I'm sort of in line with at work is a lot younger than me. I'm coming up to 27 and I think I'm good at the job that I do, but people that are writing my reports just don't seem to agree with me. So yeah, when I think about it, it's actually very, very sad because I joined the army thinking I was going to make a career out of it, thinking I was going to do my full 22 years. 22 years? Yeah, 22 years. And that I was going to go up the ranks and I was going to love it and I was going to be able to sit here and tell you the most amazing story about my experience in the army. Now, don't get me wrong, I think I've just had a very bad experience. I don't think everyone's experience goes like this. A lot of my friends who joined at the same time as me, they promoted once, they promoted twice, and they're doing really good for themselves. I think it's just luck of the draw, where you get sent, who writes your reports. what people think of you. For some reason at work, people don't seem to think the best of me, but I can't sit here and complain about it because it's just the way things are meant to be. Everything happens for a reason. I absolutely would not put anyone off joining at all. Like, the army has been amazing for me. I've learnt so much and had so many amazing experiences. And if I'd promoted and if I'd enjoyed the last few years a bit more, then I'm sure I'd be staying in. There are so many opportunities, and I think you're either just going to have a lucky experience or an unlucky experience. Yeah, I really would love to be able to sit here now and be like, oh, it's been the best time of my life, like everyone should join. But I can't, because it's not happened that way for me, which is fine. Not sure if I've mentioned in another video as well that I'm going to go and join the reserves. There's actually like a full-time job opening up in the reserves, which I'm looking at doing, which is down the fitness route, so that would be ideal for me. I'm still potentially looking at doing the online coaching as well. But to be honest, I'm not going to lie to you, at the moment, my plans after the army are sort of just a bit up in the air. Like, there's so much I want to do, I just can't seem to put down a plan and stick to it. Obviously, Danny's experience in the army has been amazing. Like, he's literally loved it from day one. I just think you have to really sit down. If you want to join the army, really sit down and think about the career that you want to go down. Research a lot about the regiments that there are. And it is a big commitment. I wouldn't even say it's a job. It's definitely a lifestyle. It's a way of life. I wouldn't encourage or discourage anyone to join. I would just say research. Next two things I'm going to touch on. I need a sip of coffee first because I'm hanging out. Oh, lovely. The next two things I'm going to touch on are, a few questions were, how does it feel being in the public eye, which is just the most bizarre thing for me to read. And another one was, let me find it. Oh, how does it feel being an influencer? I am not an influencer. I would never ever say that I am an influencer at all. It just sounds so bizarre. I don't even say I'm in the public eye. Like, I know when you look at my Instagram or you look at YouTube, but that's how it comes across, but I don't know, to me it's just mad. Like, I wouldn't say I'm in the public eye at all, but it is a bit surreal. So when we go to, especially city centres, if Danny and I are out for dinner, we can always sort of see people that maybe recognise who I am, and I just, again, find that the most bizarre thing ever. I've had a few people come up and ask for pictures. Oh, it sounds so, I can't even bring myself to talk about this, it sounds so weird. But in terms of being an influencer, like, I credit people that do this full time so much. For me, something I've learned recently is that I need to be surrounded by people. Sitting in the house trying to film some content or just trying to like do bits by myself, excuse me, I struggle with so much. Like, I feel so lonely. That's the one thing I miss about the army, is that you go in at 8 o'clock for work and you come home at 4:30, and that time you've been with people, and then your evening time is the time that you have to chill. So people that sort of have their own businesses, that work from home, I credit you so much, because it's not personally something that I could do. I feel quite lonely. And also, I don't have the willpower to work by myself. But in terms of being in the public eye, like, it's not something that I mind, because I know that people aren't overly, it's not because of something I've done, if that makes sense. Not chosen this route as such. It's sort of just almost been handed to me and fallen on me, which makes me proud, because then I think, oh, people recognise me in public because they know Molly. I don't know. That's just how I see it. Not necessarily all of you that follow me might follow Molly, but that's how I see it, and again, that just makes me very proud. On the subject of Molly, two of the questions I got quite a lot of were, am I jealous of her? And the other one was, what sort of happened to her social media? What's the real, what's the truth about when she went into the villa? How did I cope? Firstly, I am completely not jealous. If you have a sibling, you'll know that being jealous of your sibling is just not a thing. Yes, she may earn more money than me. Yes, she's more successful than me. I couldn't give a toss. Firstly, I could not do what she does. That girl has so much pressure on her. I would not trade lives with her at all. She's very good at what she does. She's very strong-minded. She's very strong-willed. She's got very thick skin. Me, on the other hand, I just couldn't do it. I spend more of my time searching her name on Twitter or on other platforms to see what people are saying about her, because, not that I'm affected by it, but I just like to keep up to date. I like to see what people are saying about her, because I care about her and because I want to protect her. And if someone's saying something that I think, oh, maybe, you know, she's doing this and maybe she shouldn't, I like to let her know, because she doesn't like to check herself, because she just thinks I'm not bothering looking. Because if you don't know what's being written about you, then I guess you're way better off. But we have a little thing. She just says, look, I know you check all the time. She's like, unless it's really, really, really important and you think I should know, don't tell me anything. So I don't. I just look, keep it to myself. I don't tell her. But I can assure you, if you've written something about Molly in the past 2-3 years, whatever it's been, I've probably read it. I don't know if it's just a protective sister thing or a nosy thing, but I love her and I care about her, and I just feel like as an older sister, it's my job to protect her, and that's what I try and do. Now, before Molly went into Love Island, it's so bizarre. Someone else said, did you know that she was going to go on Love Island or something? But it's so weird because I would say up to 2 years before she went on the show, we would always joke about like, you're definitely going to go on Love Island one day. It was weird. We just knew that she was going to be successful. I don't know how and I don't know why, but our whole family, me, Molly, my mum and dad, we always just said, you're going to end up on a TV show, you're going to be successful, you're going to be famous. That was it. That's all we used to say. So her going on Love Island, to me, was not a surprise. It wasn't a shock. It was something I was very excited about, equally very apprehensive about. She was very unorganised before she went in. We had no plans for her social media. She literally gave me and 2 other girls not access to it. She gave me access to it, and then I had a group chat with 2 other girls. And the night that she came on the show, we were literally so unaware. I think it was like a clip at the end. I was like, oh my God, I'm not prepared for this. I don't know what to post. The press picture that they put out was disgusting of her. I was like, I'm not posting that. Like, she'll literally hate me forever. So in hindsight, I'm very glad that she put me in charge, because I just feel like if anyone else was in charge, they wouldn't know what she liked. I knew she was very fussy with her social media. I knew she was very picky. I knew exactly the sort of things she liked being posted. However, a few days in, maybe not a few days, maybe like a week or 2 weeks in, I wasn't doing overly well with the social media. Like, I just didn't really know what to post. I didn't know what was very engaging. I never knew like to post polls or anything. I think the captions were just getting a bit crappy. So Molly's friend got in touch with me and they were like, listen, Fran, who is now Molly's manager, is saying she will help you out just because she sees real potential in Molly, and she thinks with the right sort of push and direction, you know, she could be very successful. So then that resulted into me, Fran, and a couple of other girls in social PR at the time, making group chat, and then we would just constantly put messages in. They were always sending me ideas to put on stories. They were sending me caption ideas. I would say at the time that Molly was actually in the villa and I had no contact with her was probably the hardest 8-9 weeks of my life. You have absolutely no control over what they're doing or what the public are saying, and me, like I just said, being the way I am, I was constantly reading stuff. I was getting super upset by things. It's so bizarre because I remember at one point almost like turning on her myself and believing what other people were tweeting about her. Oh God, it was just such a weird time. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. I'd rather be in the villa than being a family member in charge of social media of someone that's getting so much hate. But I would not change a single thing about what happened. It's made us both who we are today. It's made our family who we are today. And I'm eternally grateful to her for sort of, I don't know, she's given us so many opportunities as well. Her going on that show has given me opportunities that I never ever thought I'd have. Extremely generous as well, which is obviously another thing. If I was in her position, I'm sure I'd do the same. And sometimes it frustrates me a bit because I can't give back to her as much as I'd like. But yeah, there is literally not a single thing I would change about the past at all. I'm very grateful for all of it. A question that came up a few times was, have I ever thought of having, or have I ever had plastic surgery? Before Molly went into the villa, I think I had like a mill in my lips. As you can see, I literally have no lips and it's completely gone now. God, I literally... I have no lips, but I'm sort of past the point in caring. There's a few things that I think maybe if I had the money or if I really wanted to, I'd get done. Fancy a bit of a nose job maybe one day. A bit of a double chin issue sometimes, but it's fine, we move. I'm not overly fast. I found a man that loves me, and I think as long as I'm fit and healthy and my chin isn't because I'm actually just getting ginormous, then it's fine. I think I've just genetically got a double chin. But no, maybe in time I do think I might get something done with that. Molly always offers me, she's like, I'll pay for you to get it done. I'm like, yeah, but I think when you get that done, you have to have like a big strap around your face for like 10 days. I'm like, Mol, I work, like I can't be going into work with a big strap around my neck. I don't know, maybe one day. But I will let you know, like I will literally let you know if I get it done. What did I want to be growing up? Funny, you know, when I was really young, I remember driving down the motorway and seeing people litter picking on the side of the road. And I really used to like the pincers, and I always used to say to my mum and dad, I really want to be a litter picker when I'm older. So that's what I wanted to be from a very young age. Very bizarre. I liked the idea of picking up litter with the little pincers. But no, I'd say through most of my teenage years, up until maybe joining the army, I wanted to be a police officer. Both my parents were in the police, and I just thought naturally that was the route I was going to go down. The army was never something that was actually discussed at school. In fact, I don't think anyone else in my area or anyone else I went to school with is actually in the army or in the military at all, which is very bizarre. It's not something that's pushed. I literally just think I stumbled across that job and ended up in the careers office and ended up getting a job. It wasn't something that I really thought through. I think the thing that appealed to me most to it was the fact it was quite outdoorsy and I'm a very sporty person. I thought, oh, you can do sports all the time, which is kind of true. God, I'm really flying through these questions now. I'm not really chatting much about each one. I think I waffled on about the first few far too much. Next question was, what is my biggest achievement? For those of you that know me, you'll know that I do triathlons. I've actually got a triathlon coming up on Sunday. I don't know when I'm going to post this video, but Sunday the 31st, I've got a triathlon and it's Danny's first triathlon. And believe it or not, Tommy's actually doing it with us as well. So me, Molly, Danny and Tommy are all going to go and do a triathlon together, and I'm definitely going to vlog that because I just feel like it might be comedy gold. Tommy's saying he can swim, Molly's saying he can't swim, so we will just see how that goes. But my biggest achievement is doing an Ironman. So an Ironman, for those of you who don't know, is basically a really long triathlon. You do a 2.5 mile swim, you do a 112 mile bike, and then a full marathon at the end, so 26.2 miles. It took me so long, literally like 14 hours, 40 minutes I think I did it in, and I did that when I was 20 years old, so 6 years ago now. When I actually think about what I did, at the time I just did it, but when I think about what I did, I just think it's absolutely insane. I definitely used to be a lot fitter when I was younger. But yeah, backtracking, my biggest achievement was definitely doing the Ironman. I don't think I'll do another one anytime soon. I like just doing triathlons for fun now. If I do well, I do well. If I don't really care. It's a bit of fitness at the end of the day. It's something that's keeping me active. It's something that's keeping my brain stimulated. A few of you did ask about the PTI course in the army as well. So that's 9 weeks. You just have to be a certain level of fitness. So you have to like do a certain run time. You have to be able to lift a certain amount. You have to be able to do a certain amount of pull-ups. So yeah, there's just little tests that you have to do to pass the course. And then once you pass the sort of first process, you then do 9 weeks of training to become a personal trainer. I love taking PT. Like that was my passion. That's the reason I wanted to join the army. Sometimes I'll literally take, you know, up to 100 people. So I feel like to be a personal trainer in the army, you do have to have a lot of confidence. To be quite a loud person, you have to be able to shout quite loudly. But just bear in mind, if you want to stay fit and you enjoy taking part in group sessions, then maybe just stick to doing that and don't become a personal trainer, because you will miss out on the fun and you'll be the one taking the sessions rather than the one actually joining in. That's what I miss out on. On the fitness route, one of the questions I got asked a fair bit was, have I always been into fitness? Now, growing up, not saying that we had pushy parents, but our parents were very much wanting us to have extracurricular activities, whether that literally just be going to a running club or swimming club. So fitness in my family was something that was very big. I was very much a goody two shoes. So, you know, on a Friday night, like underage, you might go and sit at a park with your friends and have a few drinks. It was just something I didn't do at all. Drinking as well, by the way, fun fact, I didn't start having a drink until I was maybe 21, 22, I'd say. I was completely teetotal before that, which maybe is sort of where Molly gets it from as well. I sometimes think, oh, she'll have a drink one day, because I was the same, but I don't know, maybe she won't. Being drunk was always just something that really scared me, and I just think I was such a goody two shoes that was into fitness that I didn't want to ever ruin that. Now I've sort of realised that there is a lot more fun to be had. But yeah, I was definitely always into fitness, so like every night, in fact, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, yeah, every night I would swim. Saturday morning I would do ballet. Oh no, Wednesday evening I would go to running club. It was mainly just ballet twice a week. Running club twice a week, I think, and then swimming most evenings, and then weekends would either be like a swimming gala or an athletics competition. That was my childhood growing up, and I literally wouldn't change it for the world. How long have I been talking for? I don't know. Couldn't actually tell you. I'll do a couple more questions. I saw a question that was quite fun. What is my dream collab? I'd say my dream collab, maybe someone like Gymshark. I know it's very far off and probably never going to happen, but definitely more down like the fitnessy route. Any outdoors companies, that's amazing. Like, that's such a dream. There's no like one company or one brand that I really think, God, I'd love to work with them. It's just anything that's sort of me, if that makes sense. John, my mum's husband's asked, who do I think is going to win Love Island? I think that's so funny. I am watching it this year, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's such a chore now. I'm so bored by it. Controversial. Obviously I think Davide and Ekin-Su are going to win, but I would quite like Tasha and Andrew to win. I see a lot of Molly in Tasha, and I resonate with her, and I just feel quite empathetic for her in a way. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you are going to come for me in the comments about that, but I just think they're quite sweet, and I do think they've got the most chance of lasting on the outside. Yeah, how do I feel about living away from family? It's something I've spoken about quite a lot recently now with a few of my friends. I've got a friend that lives down south with her family, but she's thinking about moving up here, up north, because her partner's in the same job as Danny. And I've just tried to tell her, like, I think moving away from my family was the best thing I've done because it's made our relationship a lot stronger. If I were to live in the same town or within like 15-20 minutes of my mum and my dad, I just feel like we wouldn't have as good of a relationship. Seeing them once a month, seeing them once every 6 weeks, I get excited to do that, and I look forward to doing that, and whenever we do it we have such a good time rather than just seeing them all the time. Something I was quite apprehensive about, but now the thought of being close to them, no offence mum and dad, I couldn't do it. But no, moving away from family is something I would definitely not recommend, but I definitely wouldn't not recommend to people. I'll end on a nice fun one. I think I did touch on this in the Q&A with Danny about wanting children, but between now and then I have wanted children more and more as time's gone on. Literally every day the urge for me to not carry on taking the pill sky high, it gets higher and higher every day, I'm not gonna lie to you. But no, ideally we want to get married. We need to save up for a house. We're still house hunting, we're still renting. Yeah, still on the house hunt. Want to save up to get married, and then children. Very exciting. I hope I haven't waffled on too much for you, and I hope you found this video interesting. Sorry if I missed off any questions that you've asked as well. I'm definitely going to do a whole video on camping, because I just really am surprised about the amount of camping questions I got. Yeah, I would say like a good 50% of the questions were asking about camping, so I'm just gonna have to do a whole other Q&A on that because there's so much to talk about. If you've not watched my previous video about going camping, make sure you go over and watch that because there'll be a lot of things you can learn. And let me know in the comments below what other videos you'd like to see. If you got to the end of this video, thank you all so much for sticking around. I appreciate it so much. It really does surprise me that people actually want to sit here and listen to me talk. Whenever I post these videos, I literally can't bring myself to watch them back because my voice goes through me. But yeah, I love you all so much, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.